Yes, guys, welcome to our today's session. Today we're going to start our first lesson. The title of our lesson is Introduction to Savers. So we are going to talk about savers. So if it's your first time, my name is Isangui. I'm going to be taking you guys for this particular module. But what we have to understand is this: at the end of every lesson, we do have some practicals, right? I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing, but let's start. Remember, guys, you are doing PC support and networking. You need to understand hardware, you have to understand about networking, and the last one, you have to be good at savers, right? Now we are going to start. This is like our lesson number one. Let me try to, I don't know if it will allow me. Okay. Okay. Yes, lesson number one, introduction to savers. First, we have to define what is a saver, right? We have to understand first what is a saver. Short definitions. We are talking about a saver, any device or any applications that can offer services or resources to others. So we're talking about any device or software that can offer services or resources to clients, right? So any device or any application that can give, right, that can offer resources or services to others, to other devices or to other software, we call it a saver. So a saver will give, right? A saver will give, and a client will receive, will receive or will receive or request, right? So a saver will do what? Will give. And a client, those are the ones who are going to receive those services or those resources from the saver, right? When we are talking about services, right? When we are talking about services, you have to understand that we are talking about files, we are talking about movies, we are talking about storage, we are talking about emails, files, the emails, movies, and so on, right? So a saver can offer those services to others. What does it mean? It means a saver will have movies, and other computers will request it, or other applications will request it. Like you guys, when you wake up in the morning, you go to your Facebook page, you are a Facebook client. You are requesting your services from Facebook saver, right? So when we are talking about services, we are talking about most of the time data or services or software or applications, right? And when we are talking about resources, we are talking about physical components. Talking about a physical component, right? So a server will allow you to access its resources. Like maybe I am a server, right? So I can allow you to access my printers. I can allow you to access my storage. Maybe you don't have enough space. You can come and save on my computer, right? So a server will offer what? Services to others. Offering means so a server will have those services or those files, those emails, those movies, and others will request it, right? Client will request it. And again, servers can not only offer services, servers can offer also resources. Most of the time, a server will be a powerful computer, right? So that computer will have like more storage, it's gonna be fast and so on. So if somebody wanna save like his work, that person can save it where? On the server, can use hard drives from the server, right? This is what you have to understand. So shortly, don't try to memorize longer definition, right? Let me check if, okay. Don't try to memorize longer definitions. When we're talking about servers, we are talking about any device or any software that can offer services and resources, right? And client, those are the ones that are going to receive or to request some services or resources from the server, right? Now, yeah, we already spoke about the difference between, okay, now let's talk about the main difference between server and client. The main difference between server and client, it's the operating system, right? So the main difference between those two is the operating system, right? Let me put a bit big. Okay. A server will use what we call a network operating system. And a client will use what we call a client operating system, right? If I want to show you like this, so I can say, so a client will use a client operating system, and a server will use a network operating system, right? So for a computer to be called a server, you have to install what we call a network operating system. Like you have your laptop, right? When you install what we call a network operating system, your computer will be able to manage the others. Your computer will be able to offer services and resources to other computers, right? So the main difference is all about operating systems, right? And here you can see some types of operating systems. For network operating systems, you're gonna see that we have like Windows Server 2012, Windows Server 2016, like 2019, like 2022, right? And client operating systems, they are like what? Like Windows 10, like Windows 11. So client operating system doesn't have the capabilities to control others, right? Like Windows 10, like your Windows like 11, those are the client, right? So we call them the uh, client operating systems. Why? Because they don't have the capacity to control like others. You can only use it for personal use, for simple tasks, for your own task, right? But servers will use a network operating system like Windows Server, like Linux servers. When you install like a network operating system, that computer will have the capabilities or the functionalities that will allow that particular computer to control like others, right? So when we talk about servers and client, like put in your mind that the most important is the operating system. My battery is a bit low. Let me try to charge it. Yes. Yeah. Let's move forward, guys. Now we're going to talk about benefits of having a server, right? What are the benefits you are going to have when you install what we call a server? Number one, you are going to reduce the cost. There is cost reduction, all right? Cost reductions, like in a sense where, suppose like you want a printer, right? You cannot buy for 10 people, like 10 workers, like 10 printers. You can only have one printer, and the server can manage that printer, right? So you can see that you can reduce the cost on that particular way, right? Even though like a server is very like expensive, but I'm not talking about that. So I'm talking about you got just a simple computer, and that simple computer, you make it a server. How to make it a server? You have to install a network operating system. When you install that network operating system, your own laptop will become a server, and your laptop now can control and manage that one printer for everybody, right? Number two is time consuming, right? You are going to reduce time, like in a way, you are going to have like a single place for managing your computers, like a single place to manage like users in your company. Like your company will have maybe 500 workers. All those 500 workers, you are going to control them in a single place. When you want to communicate with them, you cannot go to every person like physically. You can communicate like with them by sending them a single message to everybody. If they got like problems with their computers, you can fix their problems using your own computer from the server side. There is no need for you to move around. Number three, it's centralized management, right? You are going to have a single place to manage every user like in your company and every device, right? And number four, it's about security, right? When you have a server, you are going to control what people can do, which type of applications people can do, or which type of applications people can use. You can block WhatsApp, you can block Facebook, you can block some of the website, right? You can control what they can do, number of pages they can print. So there are so many things you can secure. Some of the people you can allow them to do some of the tasks, and some of the people you can deny, right? So those are some of the benefits, the most important that you have to understand, like cost reduction, like time consuming, centralized management, and security, right? So they can ask you, okay, you said you are talking about servers. What are the benefits of servers? Like benefit number one, like a server can reduce my costs or our costs in our company. They can ask you, like, in which way? Okay, you can say, okay, see, like, we can be like 100. For those 100 people, can only buy one printer. And because of my laptop, I can make my laptop like a server by installing a network operating system. And that laptop will become like a server that will allow me to give access to everybody to this printer. And everybody can use a single printer. You see that we are reducing the cost. You cannot buy 10 or 20 printers. Number two is time consuming. They can ask you how your servers can reduce the time, right? Yes, servers can reduce like time, like let me give you an example, like maybe I have to communicate with everybody, right? For sure, they can tell you like they can communicate using WhatsApp and so on, right? You have to you want to communicate with everybody. From the server side, you can send them the notifications. Suppose like they got like issues with their computers. Without servers, without networking, you have to move around. You have to go there physically and fix their computers. But with servers, there's no need for you to move around. You can fix 90% of the task from the server side, right? Number three, centralized management. You are going to centralize like everything, every phone, every device, every printer, cameras, whatever that the company will have physically or virtually. You can centralize those devices. You are going to see like all of them like in a single screen, and you can manage them. Number four, it's security. Like in terms of security, there are things that you have to block. There are applications you have to block. There are some people you can deny them like access to the system. There are people you can allow them to access the system. You can configure permissions and so on, right? Those are the security side of servers, right? Now we're gonna talk about some types of servers, right? Some types of servers. We do have different types of servers. Like in terms of the software side. So I'm talking about software side, software side, because we're going to talk about the hardware side like also, right? Talking about the software side. The first one, we are going to talk about a file saver, right? But most of the time also, you can also call them roles. A saver can play different functions. This is what you have to understand. So when we're talking about a saver, when you install your network operating system, your computer will become a saver. But your computer can play different roles or different functions, right? You have to decide which function you are going to activate or configure, right? So there are a lot. Number one, we can talk about file saver. So after installing your network operating system, your server can become a file saver, right? What is a file saver? A saver for managing files. A saver for managing files. Finished. There's no need for you to go further. So file saver, it's a saver for managing files. What does it mean? It means that if your laptop will become a file saver, first you install the network operating system. Number two, you activate or you install file saver feature, right? Now, that computer, that particular server will allow you to manage files like in your company. You are going to have a single place for managing files. Like everybody in your company, for them to save, for them to access files, they have to contact the server, right? Now, you as a network administrator, you are going to manage that computer, that file saver, right? You are going to give them permissions, like in terms of what time they have to access those files, who is allowed to access those files, which user you can deny like access, which user you are going like to give full like access to those files, like managers, like CEOs, right? So you are going to configure so many things, right, from that particular saver. But because we are talking about a file saver, we are talking about storage. So remember, you have to look at a computer that will have more storage, right? And speed also, right? That way sometimes people are going for special computers that are very fast and the storage is high. Why? Because you're going to manage files, right? Number two, we're going to talk about email saver. So when we're talking about like email saver, this is just a saver for managing emails like in your company, right? So file saver, it's a saver for managing files. The email saver, It's a server for managing emails. What does it mean? You are going to have a single place where the emails will be saved, right? So your laptop that you installed, your network operating system will manage the emails like in your company. You are going to create the emails for workers. You are going to delete them when they resigned. You can block their emails. You can reset their password, right? You can change their password because most of the time, workers, they always forget their password. You have to reset it and so on. So it's part of network administration, right? So this is the job of the email server. And remember, because you are going like to run it like in your company, so even if there is no internet, users they can still access the emails. Why? Because you are saving those emails locally. Number 3, we are going to talk about a print saver. So it's just a saver for managing what? For managing printers, right? So you are going to start managing what? Printers, right? You are going to decide how many pages users can print or workers can print, right? What time they have to print. Sometimes when the CEO wanna print, but there's another user who's printing 1,000 like pages, you know that the CEO cannot wait. You can stop that user and allow first CEO's work to be printed, right? So it's just a printer for managing, no, it's just a computer for managing printers in your company. There is also what we call FTP, File Transfer Protocol. So this is a server for managing the transfers of files, for managing the transfer of large files. Remember, there are companies where you always transfer files, very huge amount of data or large amount of files, all right? And there's a specific server that knows how to transfer files securely, like quickly, and so on. So FTP, File Transfer Protocol. So it's a server for managing the transfer of files. There is also what we call syslog server. What is a syslog server? It's a server that will be managing what? That will be managing logs. So a server for managing logs. You know, when you are configuring network devices, right? Router, switches, wireless access point, you're gonna have somewhere where you are going to save whatever that goes wrong with the device. Suppose like my router will have problems when I'm sleeping at home, but at work, your router or your switch will have some problems. Those details will go to that server and that server will save those logs, right? Now, when you're gonna wake up in the morning, you can just go to your server, you go to syslog server and you check what happened like on your devices. So you can learn how your device behaved and what happened from the server. So syslog server is a server for managing the logs, for managing whatever that happened with the device, right? Like, so it's like a server for monitoring the behavior or the errors that happened with like network devices. And number 6, we have what we call a web server. A web server, so it's a server for managing websites, right? So you are going to have a specific computer. That computer will be keeping the website of the company, right? So when you're gonna keep the website of the company, users can access the website very fast and programmers can do the update very quickly, right? Usually for a website, you have to keep it or host it to other companies, right? but there are issues because of the update. The update sometimes takes time and so on, right? And most of the time, you can keep your own website in your own company, right? So now that saver will allow you to manage the website. We have what we call the DNS saver. It's a saver for managing the conversion of IP, the addresses to domain name. So what does it mean? Remember, guys, when you are saying www.fnb.com, this is a domain name, right? We call it a domain name. It's a domain name, right? Oh, yeah, we call it a domain name. But in reality, this is an IP address. So in reality, it's like a number like this. It's an IP address, right? Like this one. So when you see a website, right? Normally, those websites, they are IP addresses. But because human beings, they cannot memorize numbers. They cannot memorize like IP addresses. That's why they came up with what? Domain name, because it's easy. Now the saver that will map domain name to IP, it's called DNS saver, right? So when you wake up in the morning, you go to facebook.com. In reality, facebook.com, it's a number. You have to type that number, that IP address, like in order for you to access your pages, your Facebook pages. But because you cannot remember those numbers, they came up with a way to replace those numbers by the website, right? But there must be a mechanism to convert like an IP to a domain name and domain name to IP. And the DNS saver will do that job, right? So the conversion from IP to domain name and domain name to IP. And the last one is a DHCP saver. So this is a saver for assigning the automatic IP to clients, right? DHCP saver will do what? The job of this saver is for assigning like IP automatically to devices. Remember, guys, like an IP address, that is a unique number, can be given manually or automatically. Manually is statistically, and automatically it's dynamically. So there is no need for you to give those IPs manually because it's going to take time. You can come up with a mechanism like a saver that will allow you to assign those IPs automatically. We call it a DHCP saver, right? Yeah. So file saver, saver for managing files. Email saver, saver for managing the emails. Print saver, saver for managing the printing process. FTP saver, saver for managing file transfer. Syslog saver, a saver for managing the logs. Web saver, saver for managing the website. DNS saver, saver for managing the conversion of IP to domain name or domain name to IP. DHCP saver, a saver for assigning IP automatically, right? So this is like almost the end of my lesson one. Now we are going to go to practicals. Remember, guys, I gave you lab number one or exercise number one. What you have to do, you have to download first a simulator. So a simulator, so it's just a software that can do like almost the same job as a physical device. Suppose like you wanna learn how to configure the wireless access point, routers, switches. There is no need for you to buy the physical devices. you can use a simulator and you can learn from there, right? And the simulator that we are going to use, it's called Packet Tracer. I will show you first how you can download it, so, and how we can do a few exercises or few labs, right? You just go to any browser, right? You go to any browser. I'm just waiting, it's a bit slow. You are going just to type here, right? You're gonna type Packet. Okay, so when you're gonna type like Packet Tracer free download, right? So you type like Packet Tracer free download. You scroll down. When you scroll down, this website, the computernetworkingnotes.com, this one, you click there. When you click there, so it will bring you directly to where is it again? I'm just waiting. I'm getting lost a bit. I don't know. So when you go there, you scroll down, you can download Packets Tracer version 6. It's fine, but there are so many versions, right? My laptop is a bit slow. Yeah, Packet Tracer free download. You go there, right? Okay. When you go there, you scroll down, you go to Packet Tracer, you go to this website, computernetworkingnotes.com, this one. You click there, right? When you click there, there are so many versions of the simulator, right? There are so many versions. You scroll down, the new one, it's like this 8.2.2, but yeah, if you download like this one, you have to sign up, right? So every time when you need like to access it, you have to sign up, right? But I like the one that won't gonna ask you to sign up, but you can have those two versions. You can download this one. When you scroll down, you can see version 6.3. So I like this one. So if you're using Windows, you can download 6.3. Linux, you can use this one, right? Now, when you download it, you install it, you're gonna see it here. You're gonna see it. Oh, I got so many. You're gonna see it here. Here, you can just click and it will open, right? But you can also go to start, right? You just go to start and you're gonna type Cisco Packet Tracer. Or you can just type like Packet Tracer, so it will appear, and you just click there and it will start, right? So you're gonna see it is there, the app is there, right? You can just go to open, so it will open. This is version 6, right? When it's gonna open, so it's gonna open like this one, okay, right? So from here, let's do the exercise number 1. So you click there when you wanna do some notes. So so I can say lab 1, DHCP server. So how to configure a DHCP server. So when you are done, you must click here so that you can come out from the notes mode. You just click there. Now, so I can drag and drop maybe 2 computers because I want to configure what? DHCP server. I want to configure a server that will give the IP addresses automatically to my device. So what you must do, you come here down here, like enter devices. You click once, you can drag and drop the computers, right? You just drag and drop. When you are done, we can bring a switch, like a centralized like device. You're gonna click once and you can go here you drag and drop your switch. This switch is called the 2950. If you want to learn more about this particular switch, you can only click on top, right? You click on top of that particular switch. You can see when you zoom in, this is how that switch looks like. Those are the ports where you're gonna plug, right? So, and the model of that switch is the Catalyst 2950 series, right? You can even go to the internet, you type the Catalyst, the 2950 series, you're gonna see it, right? Yeah, this is how it looks like. Now we're gonna bring a saver. You go to end the devices, the generic. This is your saver. You're gonna bring it there. You can also bring a printer. Yeah. Now we're gonna run the cables. You go there. Because I'm connecting a computer to a switch, I'm gonna use a straight cable, not a crossover. This one, the copper straight. You click once, you go to your computer, you plug to any port, you do the same, right? This is cabling. Step number 1, we do the cabling. You go to printer also, you do the same. You go to saver also, you do the same. All right? This is cabling. Even if you have a particular building, that building will have maybe like, oh, I have a problem with my, what's going on? Let me out.